Welcome back to the channel, lads. Today we are back on Reddit. We're going to be in r/Bangkok, seeing what the lifestyle is like of other people out here in Bangkok and how we stack up against them. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. This is from Bruce F310. Why do people still have the perception that you can live like a king on 1,000 a month in Bangkok, one bando? Do most of you on here think that's even realistic? Even if you can manage it once you start dating, your budget is going to be destroyed. This is the thing I love about Thailand and especially Bangkok. I'm such a big advocate for young people, especially young men, for just getting out of your hometown, regardless of where you go. Get away from your hometown, get away from those influences that you grew up with. Start to make your own decisions and form your own understanding of the way that the world works. The reason why I love Thailand, especially Bangkok, is because you can do that at virtually any budget. Now, you still need some money, you still need some savings, and ideally some form of online income, but you do not have to be rich to pack up everything and move to Thailand. You can do it very cheaply if you want to. And on the other side, if you do want to live like a king, you can do that for much cheaper than you'd be able to do in Western countries. That being said, 1,000 a month is very low. You could do it and you would have much better quality of life than you'd have back in your home country, but have a bit more than that would be my recommendation, because you don't want to come out here and just live in a slum. You want to come out here and actually enjoy your life a bit. That way it will inspire you to push harder and keep working, because any investment, in my mind, any investment which helps you work better is 100% worth it. Buy it straight away. It's like playing a tycoon on Roblox. If you've played Roblox before, fantastic game. When you start a tycoon, you don't start buying walls, windows, your cars in the garage. You keep buying your conveyor belt upgrades. You keep getting the income up, and up, and at the end you go through the tycoon and buy all the fancy stuff straight away. And that's the way to do it in real life as well. So you play GTA Online, for instance. If you're starting up a business, you're not going to buy all the superficial stuff. You're going to buy your stuff to resupply quicker, so on and so forth. So same goes for real life. That's actually why I first decided to build something, was from playing GTA Online. And I was like, this is so much fun. I love doing this. Why don't I just do it in real life? Not illegal stuff, but why don't we put this same effort into building up different streams of income in real life, different properties, etc., so on and so forth. So let's get into this and see what other people seem to think. My rent right now in Bangkok is about 30% of 1K. You could just say 300, but this guy seems too smart for us. Back home, I made about 2,500 per month. The cheapest single bedroom apartment was around 1,300. That's immediately a massive difference. Like my first condo in Bangkok, I was only paying 13,500 Thai baht a month. So in USD right now, 410 USD a month. Studio layout, nothing special, but everything you need to live a good life. 410 versus 1,300, it's day and night difference. It's insane. So just slightly over 50% of his income was going to rent. That's crazy, man. Just being able to save 20% of my monthly income on rent and living by myself without roommates, that's already enough to make me feel like I'm living like a king. This is my opinion. When I was working in Australia and I had a corporate job and I was making decent money for someone who was 18 because I was working in middle management, I realized afterwards that I've been spending my money completely wrong, because your level of wealth, if you like, in my mind is not determined by income. It's determined by the gap between your expenses and your income. The bigger that gap is, the richer you are, and the smaller that gap is, the poorer you are. Even if you're making $1 million a month, if you're spending $1 million a month and it's not going to investments, if you're just spending it, then you're poorer than someone who makes 100 a month and spends 90, because at least they're getting $10 on top. Sure, you might have a better lifestyle, but when I was working full time, like doing 12-hour days, 5 days a week, and I bought 2 cars and 2 motorbikes, all that was doing was having me a slightly nicer 5-minute commute to work. That's all it was. I was doing 60 hours a week, sometimes 1 p.m. to 3 a.m., running around like a headless chicken, not taking breaks, not eating enough, getting super skinny and just throwing away my life to have a slightly nicer 5-minute commute to work. That's all it was. So it's all about the gap you can build between your income and your expenses, nothing else. The amount you're actually making doesn't matter. The amount you're spending doesn't really matter. The gap, that's the thing that truly matters. So that's what this guy's saying here. Like the fact that now he's able to save his monthly income, even if he's not making so much, that already puts him in a better position. What if they're not interested in dating? Well, it's going to be much cheaper for you. Didn't you know everyone that moves to Thailand ends up spending all their money on women? That's a lot of people who move to Thailand. Actually, that's a lot of them. You get like a couple of different types of foreigners in Thailand. My favorite ones are the ones who move out here to really chase an opportunity, get away from outside influences and build something for themselves that they want. Those are fantastic guys to be around. But more and more you see the percentage of people, especially young guys, that come out here for less innocent reasons, and they do it to get a little bit of action for cheap. You see that a lot, especially depending where you go in Bangkok. That's all it's about. And yeah, so they'll come to Thailand for 2 weeks out of the year, spend all their hard-earned money on debauchery and all sorts of fun things, and then go back and cry and put depressing things on their Instagram story for the next 50 weeks of the year saying, oh, I'm missing Thailand. It's not a great way to live. And I actually got to remind myself that sometimes if I wake up and I'm not feeling so pumped and so ready to chase down the day, I've got to remind myself that I actually just get to live here full time, and I've got a fantastic opportunity in life. Got to keep those vibes high, you know. This is only an issue for people with expensive lifestyle who want to live dirt cheap. Most Thais in Bangkok don't even make this much, and most enjoy a decent life. That's also true as well. Like a lot of Thais, like they might make, especially in Bangkok, they might only make like 9,000 to 20,000 Thai baht a month if we can chuck a conversion on the screen, which is not a lot of money. That's really nothing if you're doing that sort of work in a Western country. But the thing with the Thai mindset, and this is not my opinion, this is me speaking to people who have grown up in Thailand. The Thai mindset is one where they do not take risks. So long as they have money for, this is what my Thai language teacher told me, as long as they got money for beer and rice, they're happy. And there's a great power in that sort of happiness and being able to enjoy your life at such in a minimalistic way, not needing all these external possessions. But it's not quite as happy as it seems on the surface, because the more I dig in, the more I get to know people, and the more I see, there's still like massive drug problems in these poorer communities. There's kids like as young as 9 years old getting hooked on things which no adult should even be putting in their body. Even though it's a lifestyle a lot of people accept and they make their peace with it, it's not fantastic long term. Like in my mind, there has to be someone in the family who tries to break that cycle.
It's a pleasure to meet you. Go college?
Or someone who does take risk. And I don't want to sound too harsh when I say this, because I know I come from a place from Australia where I've had so much more opportunity than these people will ever get growing up. So I want to be very careful how I say this. Yeah, at some point, someone in the family has to step up and take that risk.
What that? That sounds stupid. How much you make?
About 200,000 per year.
Welcome to family.
Because when I moved to Thailand for the second time, when I moved out here permanently, I had invested absolutely everything I had, and we were just waiting on all of our invoices to be paid for our marketing agency that we invested all that money in. And if for some reason anything went wrong, I would have had to turn around and come back to Australia a week later and go back to my corporate job. Thankfully it didn't. Everything got paid out. We took the momentum, ran with it, and I quit my job 2 weeks later. But there's always going to be risk. Fortune favors the bold. I made the most progress in my life when I've really done something which I had a thought in my mind where I was screaming, this could potentially be really, really stupid. And look, even if it didn't work out, I had a contingency plan. I would have just gone back and worked like a motherfucker. But at some point, you have to take these risks if you really want to see these leaps in progress. Silly Hold 7540, it's relative. If you're from a mold-filled apartment in Birmingham eating canned slime, then yes, a cheap place with Thai street food is living like a king. If you're middle class or slightly well-to-do, then it's a different cost ratio. Exactly, it's all relative. Similar to what I was saying before, it's about your income versus expenses. Like a lot of people in life, if you have a way to make money online, Thailand, you're going to have a much better quality of life than you will in your home country. Or to reverse it, if you're like that elderly Thai couple I saw at Central World the other day, eating their desserts together, both wearing rare AP watches, valued at 100,000 USD. Woo! Shee! You might have other criteria compared to the rice farmer in Buriram, who buys a nice bottle of rice whiskey and is happy to hang out and listen to Luk Tang in the fields, whose costs are 3,000 baht per month. That's the other really interesting thing about Thailand. A lot of people who make really good money don't spend it in the way Westerners do. Like a lot of farmers inland, like durian, etc., they will be very, very cash heavy. They're making cash hand over fist. Obviously farming is a bit riskier, so they can't just splash the cash. But if you look at the way they live, as a Westerner, you would not be able to guess that they could afford to buy you and your whole family. But it's true, they could. They've got the cash sitting around and they could buy you. They're worth more than anything you've got in your life. But you wouldn't pick it because it's different the way they choose to live and the way they choose to spend their money. Bangkok can be as cheap or as expensive as you make it. I agree that you aren't going to be balling out and living luxuriously on $1,000 USD a month, and really that myth is probably getting perpetuated by content creators. Hey, yes! On Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube in an attempt to get quick views. Again, you see this a lot on Instagram. There's probably like 2 or 3 guys who've really built their Instagram off showing off things in Bangkok, doing condo tours, etc. And they'll show you a tour of the condo, and they'll say this is 500 USD a month. It's in a perfect area in the city. It's got all these facilities, and if it's a 10-minute video, they might spend 9 minutes and 30 seconds showing you the facilities of the condo. And then when they actually show you the room, they're like, hey, my Thai friend, show me your room. And they go in there. Everyone's standing in the room like this as they walk around because you're living in a little box. So that's where the biggest disconnect happens there, is that the condos are built up with all these facilities, but look at your rooms, because that's where you're gonna be spending 90% of your time, and all the rooms are essentially tiny little boxes. So yes, you can get really good deals, at least compared to what you get in Western countries, but yeah, it's not as good as you would think if you just skim through YouTube and look at thumbnails and titles. It's not the whole story. Why destroyed when dating? Do you realize Thais have jobs right? If you're broke AF, don't date broke AF people. Unless you have absolutely nothing else to offer, then I don't know what advice to give. I'm personally a fan of not like sleeping around or dating multiple people. Like, dude, dating destroys most men's budgets. BKK or LA or anywhere, especially LA. I don't know why this is also being debated. Any man would tell you, if they were being honest, they would have much more money if they didn't have a girlfriend, even if she does cover some costs. Girlfriends are a money sink. No girl adds to a guy's budget. It's always a net negative when it comes to money. Maybe when it comes to money, it is. Not always. I'll give you an example here. My current partner, lovely Thai girl, she used to work in marketing for a Muay Thai gym in Koh Samui. She's pretty successful. She's done designing. She's graduated. Clever girl, right? What we ended up doing is I ended up bringing her out to Bangkok full time. And now she works for me in content creation, whether it be editing, shooting, camera, etc. And so even from a financial standpoint, it's a net positive for me. Obviously, that's not why I'm dating her. She's a fantastic girl, and she adds to my life in lots of other ways. Even then, it's not a net negative. The problem I see a lot of guys with, and the problem that one of my mates had, is that when they first go out with a girl, they set the expectation wrong. They try and come across as someone that they are not. So if they go out on the first date, they go to the flashiest restaurant they possibly can to try and wow this girl, and they maybe sell their mum's car to afford it. And then what happens when they start to date, they feel this pressure of trying to keep up that effort, because what they've set themselves out as someone who does have it like that. And when they start to not be able to supply, that's when they start to lose a girl. They've either got to spend more money to try and get her back, and that's when it goes down the sink. So the problem is not necessarily that girlfriends out here are going to destroy your budget. The problem is that you're going to come in here and try and pretend to be someone you're not. If you don't have it like that, don't pretend you do, because people are going to find out sooner rather than later, and what's going to happen is you're still going to spend the money, and your girl's going to walk out on you on 6 months' time. So I would not recommend doing that. 100%, if you want to spend money on your girl, do it, but you should be the guy who can actually afford to do it, that you don't have to come on Reddit and say, girls are going to drain your budget, because if they're not actually draining your budget because you got the cash to splash, if they're not actually draining your budget because you got it like that, then it's not something you need to worry about. I hope you enjoyed this video, lads. Heaps more content coming your way. So if you enjoyed it, smash that like button, elbow the subscribe button, headbutt the bell, and I'll see you in the next video. Boosh, boosh.
Money.